Luka Doncic just played his first game for the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka Magic.
Can't spell Luka without LA.
The Lakers won by 20,
Bang.
and Luka, got his first basket as a Laker. He's looking good in the Lakers, purple and gold.
Royalty, babe.
I just want to talk about the team as a whole. How do we feel? Because we haven't talked a lot of basketball. We've been mostly football.
Yeah.
Football season's officially
pivot.
over.
Yep.
And the day after the Super Bowl ended, NFL season's done. We get Luka's first game as a Laker.
Yep.
And so it's kind
Dream
of the
scenario.
changing of the guard.
Yeah.
So
Quite a
to say.
beautiful thing.
And I mean, the Lakers looked really good, even though they're without a big man. Mario, when you look at this team as it's currently constructed after this Luka trade,
Yep.
we know the Mark Williams trade fell through, but the Hornets are kind of pushing back on that. How do you feel this team is constructed now? Are they built to win this season? Just overall thoughts on everything.
Yeah, this team is exciting for sure. I think first thought seeing Luke on the court was he definitely looked a little bit rusty. Definitely looked a little bit out of shape. Not gonna lie, he was moving not very fast. You saw when he
Need a lot of water.
had a few moments where he would kind of play like Luke I'm used to, where he'd kind of put on the jets and then
Wiggle.
stop
Yeah.
on a dime and stuff. And so, and the passing and everything, decision making is all perfect. But I think once he gets healthy and gets fully fit, and hopefully LeBron, that was not a real injury.
It doesn't look like
Yeah,
it
it looks
That's
like,
what early reports are
you know,
saying.
this-
He's fine. He
I
just
think-
left the game. They were up early. He went to the locker room.
I think this team is going to cause a lot of problems for teams defensively just because LeBron is a handful enough. And then you got Luka who can by himself control a game.
Yeah.
The problem, and then I love Reeves as a complimentary, just kind of only has to worry about scoring.
Man, is he playing well recently?
Yeah, and he a little pressure off his back. Opens up the game for Rui. I think Rui, LeBron, and Austin Reeves all had over 20 points, which was pretty cool to see
Today, yeah.
today. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Jackson Hayes had a few moments as well.
Action Jackson.
Action Jackson. That's kind of though where I think the problems kind of start to rise. At least alarm bells in my head for this team. I don't think it's that deep of a team at all, and I think defensively there's going to be a couple kind of concerns, especially at the center level. I know Jackson is athletic, but he's really skinny. I don't know how good he'd be against a Jokic or kind of a big.
That'd be
kind
tough.
Of, I mean, he's already tough enough, but I mean, Jackson, I don't know. He looks like Draymond Green could probably back him down. So yeah, I don't know. Definitely gonna have to figure out something, get some sort of addition, a European player, fly him in here, to just kind of
Dwight Howard, Shanghai Sharks.
I mean, maybe run it back with Dwight, or maybe just a Serbian,
Anyone.
No,
Mail
just a
order
Serbian.
Just off the street.
Just all, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
their average height is 6'4".
No, I'm
sure
with you.
Just find one that's
I'm with you on
6'9", who's just. I mean, they're all tough.
Plug
Yeah.
and play.
And just only play defense.
Can give you 6'9" Dagestani.
Those don't exist.
I don't think
Oh.
there's a 6'9" Dagestani
That would be
walking
tough,
around.
though.
That'd be a
That'd be
scary.
tough.
I would
that'd be a
not want to.
Have
scary
you ever
thing.
seen Dagestani basketball?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Literally
Well, it's
UFC.
Khabib and his friends. It's not a real thing. It's
Okay.
just Khabib and his
All right.
friends, and they just
Leave
fight
it to
each
Mike
the
to
ball.
take
It's
the
like when we play Deathball. Anyways,
Yeah.
Shout out
Great.
Deathball.
shout out Deathball.
Deathball.
Real ones know if you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. If you know, you know.
But yeah, no, I think defensively there's some concerns, so we're gonna have to kind of make some moves to kind of shore this team up. I think if we can get a solidified number 5 or just some better wing defenders, I think this team can actually make a real run. Right now, no shot though to win the championship.
Wow. Mike, do we have a shot to win the championship? You're a Lakers fan.
I mean, most definitely we do.
Good to hear.
Here's the thing.
I'll give him 10%. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
10% chance.
It's a non-zero. It's a non-zero percentage.
Yeah, it's not zero.
That's
LeBron
good to
and
hear.
Luka,
That's
like,
good to
it's
hear.
not
It's a non-zero.
zero, but it's close.
It's a non-zero. All right. So here's
With
the thing.
LeBron, I'd say that's
No,
a safe statement to make.
See, he gets me. He gets me. But here's the thing. This is Luka's first game on the court in the purple and gold, as Tyler aforementionedly mentioned. But here's the thing: is that I've seen momentum shifters in my life. If we're going to talk about specifically basketball, I could say,
hope so.
Kevin Durant to the Warriors, I thought was like a big momentum shifter. Not momentum shifter, but not okay. I'm phrasing this wrong. Like an energizer.
Yeah.
Like when they step on the court in this new team's jersey, the crowd is just so amped up for it, and I feel like that's similar to what's happening with Luka. He
definitely
pledged $500,000 to the city. He's
That
all
was
about
cool. For
loyalty.
the Flyers.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
No, I mean, I think he's going to be one of those guys that, I don't know if Tyler had mentioned it on the podcast, but we haven't been, I at least haven't been super tuned in with the Lakers like regular season, but this is the type of thing where it's like, dude, I'm all in. Like I'm so back invested. Make up for lost time right now.
I think a lot of fans felt the same way.
For sure. And like, I think that does a lot for a team. I think that's a big boost. It lights a fire. And, knowing that your home city is rallying behind you with everything they got is, just one of those momentum shifters. Like I said, when it comes to actual on the court playing basketball, I think he does a lot of, just amazing things in terms of opening up our offense. His ability to literally make a pass from anywhere on the court to anyone at any given point is unbelievable. It's Luka Magic for a reason. Magic Kingdom, as cameraman Kev had said when we were watching the Lakers.
Such a nice
I think that is
nickname.
I think that's
Kingdom,
the most unreal.
Yeah.
Los Angeles new dub. So I'm stoked for it. I think Luka brings an unbelievable fire and energy to this team that, it makes me so proud and very excited, very happy. And let's go purple and gold, baby.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever fully agreed with every single thing you've said on the podcast.
Thank you.
Finish. So
That's sharp.
Thank you.
yeah, it's the first time it's ever
First for
happened.
everything,
Let's go.
baby.
Thank
Ryan,
you.
how do you feel about it?
Power.
I want to go last.
For Luka and the future, this is the greatest thing to ever happen to a team in the history of me being alive. I'm pretty sure. Besides maybe
just
like
a
not.
gift.
Yeah, like I theoretically wasn't alive when Kobe didn't get traded. When did he come to the league? Was it 90?
You're saying the draft
Well,
pick?
Yeah, it was a
it?
draft pick.
Kobe
from
got
Charlotte.
drafted
98?
in 96.
or 7?
97.
So I'm saying then I was gonna say that was the greatest, but no, this is I wasn't born during that.
96. Sniped it.
So
Nice. Thank
I
you.
wasn't born
Thank you very
during
much.
then. So Luke, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in a draft or a team for everything, anything combined. They have a 25-year-old for next, probably 12. If he keeps conditioning right, 10 years at least.
Yeah, the
plus.
rate he's only on for 3 more.
Yeah, who knows? But
have a hard
I
time.
just
Got
think
till 32.
Lucas snacks.
yeah, if we're locking in this year, if this team was in the East, it'd be a whole different world. I think they can I would actually think about them making it to the finals and be like, I can move around pieces. There's no chance, in my opinion, they make it to the finals this year. They're not deep enough, and the West is so stacked. It's unbelievable, like as up and down. They
agree
don't have
with
any
that.
big guys. The West is so dominantly big men. There's really nothing here. Can Luka and LeBron go for 40 each and do a Kyrie LeBron thing back
Yes.
then? And just there's nothing you can do. They score 80 a game and they win. Yes, very possible. Do I think that's going to happen in multiple
Not
7-game
very
series?
likely, yeah.
Not very
probable.
likely. So I think that this year upcoming, it's so dead in the water, especially with the Mark Williams not probably being on the Lakers and your center being just
Jackson.
going to be abused.
Action
And also
Jackson.
I don't think LeBron or Luka are going to have every game have 40. You got to find points other places, and you have to have sharp shooters. Are you going to trust Rui in the corner, DFS?
AR.
I don't. But AR is the one. He's a complementary piece. But when Luka comes out, when LeBron comes out, I don't know. I just feel like they're not deep enough to compete with these teams, and defensively, they're not even on paper to compete with these teams.
Yeah. I think that's the take that you're hearing a lot right now.
Yeah.
And is about the big guy. And I think the Mark Williams trade is something that's going to be looked back on a lot because obviously, someone we haven't mentioned for depth, I know we're talking about depth, is Dalton Kennett, who's still on the team. And he was putting in meaningful minutes, averaging like 10 a game. I love DK as a piece. I think he's actually a really good player. It is kind of weird, but really guard heavy in general because we obviously try to ship 2 draft
Crazy
picks
guard
and a
heavy.
guard in DK for a center. The center's gone. Now you just have this extra guard, and you're like, shit, we drafted him in the first round. He's a pure scorer.
Yeah.
Best
Dropped
six
30.
man
He
in
dropped
the league.
30 before in the game this season. I mean, like, he can play. So the guard position depth, I actually love on our team.
Yeah, no,
I think we have
So
some
like that
of the.
doesn't win lately in
Well,
championships.
okay, but I took a look. The Mavericks made it through the West last year, right?
Yeah.
Or what are the teams they beat? Let's pretend. I think this Lakers team now is better than the Mavericks team last year. I do.
You're crazy.
Well, I don't. The Mavericks.
I think Luka LeBron is better than Luka Kyrie, sure, but I think
But
Lively
who are the other
was
players?
amazing.
But Derek Lively, I mean, that's like Jackson Hayes-esque.
10 times better than 10 times.
But no, but
10
before the
And
season,
Gafford. You had Lively and Gafford.
yeah, no, but they're fine. But I'm saying, like, the team as a whole, like, they beat the Clippers. Didn't really need much help there. I mean, Zubac is fine, but you don't need a big man to beat the Clippers. Anyone could beat the Clippers.
Anyone can beat the Clippers, sure.
They beat the Thunder. You don't need a big man to beat the Thunder, really. I mean, Chet Holmgren's fine. Anyone can push him out. Jackson Hayes is just as big as he is, probably stronger. And then they beat the Timberwolves. And sure, back then you might have needed a big man for Cat, etc. But like,
Or Gobert.
yeah, but they didn't like.
Reason why it works so well is
Lively
Lively
played.
and
No,
Gafford
Lively
playing
played well,
both.
but I'm saying the route that the Mavericks took through the West last year, I mean, the big men played complementary roles fine. It's not like they dominated any of those series. It was obviously Kyrie and Luka who had the bulk of the scoring. Luka, multiple game winners. I mean, let's not pretend that the Mavericks relied heavily on their big men last year. Their big men were fine. None of these guys are all-stars. None of these guys are top 10, 15 centers in the league.
Except for Derek Lively. I agree.
Where do you put him at?
He's probably like the 7th or 8th best. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. But
old.
no, I agree. That's why I say he's Jackson Hayes similar. Derek Lively, beginning of last season, no one was looking at him like he was a top center.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. And Jackson Hayes is young too. So like, there's not.
But Hayes is like 3rd, 4th year, right?
I'm saying they're both young 20 centers. Like Hayes hasn't played a crazy amount of basketball. He was on a bad team. I think he was on the Pelicans, right?
He was
for a couple of years. Didn't really do much, but I don't know. Like being a rookie drafted to a team, with Luka and Kyrie is probably doesn't hurt your stats in your first year, just for an immediate impact. My only point is this: the Mavericks last year, in my opinion, didn't have a real dominant center. They had kind of plug and play pieces at the time. It was viewed at that, at least. Maybe that shifted since after the run. I think the Lakers are pretty similar, and I would take this Lakers roster over that Mavericks roster. I think Luka has only gotten better every single year of his career. LeBron is still playing at his prime. I'd take LeBron over any player on that team besides Luka last year on the Mavericks, and the Mavericks made it through the West. So I totally think the Lakers.
They also had years of camaraderie, and like this is 20 games in. They're going to have to go like this, the Lakers. Just blink and be able to know where people are going to be and be together. Mavericks had years of.
LeBron has never had an issue with that. LeBron's career, he's been able to.
As a team. It's not just LeBron on this team. I'm saying other players around him.
I don't know. The way this team's built, our best players are LeBron and Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
3 of, in my opinion, these, at least forget about AR. AR is a great role player. The 2 leaders of the team are LeBron and Luka.
Correct.
Those are probably 2 of the highest 10 basketball players, LeBron being 1, in my opinion, to ever play the game. So do I think in the next, 3 or 4 months, until they really have to get it clicking, they'll be able to do it? Yes. 100% in my opinion. I think it's
but that was my argument. I'm not worried about them. You need a whole team to win these games now. These.
But that is the team. I mean, like, sure, the rest of the pieces are fine, but that's the team. Let's not kid ourselves. Last year was Kyrie and Luka.
But they had much better pieces around.
For me, the only thing I push
defensively,
back on,
not just offensively.
Dorian Finney-Smith, who's also on the Lakers now. Austin Reeves, better.
But we're not talking about points. I'm talking about defensively is how you're going to win these games.
Yeah. So the only thing I would push back on is I think the combination, because Lively, first off, is a top 10 center.
Last year, the start of the playoffs, was he viewed that way?
Going into it?
Yeah.
He was just like, oh, this rookie's playing great.
That's my point. I think Jackson can get there. No one was talking about Lively like that at the beginning of the playoffs.
Okay, but also when we talked about the Mavericks last year, I did mention, like, because he was a rookie, like, no one knows how good he is.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like saying, like, oh, like, we have a young quarterback. Was anyone thinking Jay Daniels going to be the best? No, he could get there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes players are just that good. They came in right away and can make that impact. Jackson Hayes, I feel like after a couple years, I kind of know what he is. All I'm going to push back on is just saying, like, Lively, first off, I do think he's a top 10 center, but even if you don't, I think the combination of Lively, Gafford together is a better defensive unit than Hayes and
anyone,
Hachimura or whatever. I just think that's where the Mavericks, the scoring you leave to Luka and Kyrie. Scoring for the Lakers, you're going to leave to Luka, AR, and LeBron. Like, yeah, I'm not worried about us scoring.
And they have some wings that can shoot.
For me, it's defensively in the paint. It's hard for me to get behind, I don't know, Jackson Hayes and Rui. Like, Rui's okay. I don't know. And also, like, what you're talking about last year as well, I think there's going to be some different teams. I know Denver hasn't looked well, but, like, you don't want to face Denver in a playoff series. You just don't. Like, they've always had the 100%. Lakers number. And, I mean, Jokic, is going to give anyone problems. I feel like that would be a really tough matchup. I actually pushed back on the Oklahoma City Thunder take as well. I think Holmgren would actually be kind of a handful. I know he's, like, skinny and stuff, but, I mean, at 7'2" with guard skills, I don't know. I just feel like
20 and 10 in that series.
And also, like, you can't count out the Warriors as well. Like, I mean, they just got Jimmy Butler. I don't know. There's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams where, like, it's not going to be the same teams. Like, the Timberwolves don't look as good this year as they do last year. So it's going to be a lot of different teams. I don't think you could look at the route last year and be like, oh, if we do that, then we're in.
Sure. I was just comparing it because I think this team is. I get the Gafford and Lively, and there's totally a reason. I'm not saying we're fine at center. Like, this is what we wanted. We obviously wanted something else because we traded for it. But when we're talking about, oh, you don't want to face these guys in the playoffs, dude, I think that's actually how teams are looking at the Lakers. They have LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is the most clutch player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, Period. End of sentence. Like,
Yep.
and he's with LeBron James.
He has a 10-man highlight reel.
I
under
really
the
think
board.
it's like, oh, because the Lakers don't have Mark Williams or like a Lively at center, like a borderline top 10 center, you're like, oh, they have no, they're not going to make it to the finals. I think that's a really short-sighted way to look at it. Maybe it ends up being true and we played Jokic and he gets 45 a game because we don't have AD to hold him to 30 and 10 instead of 40 and 10. That we're going to lose. But
Like if you play the Mavericks, I think Mavericks beat you because AD has literally what he did every year in the
Out
playoffs.
indefinitely.
He has 40 and 20.
but who's guarding LeBron and Luka? Like who stops them?
No,
Like we're
that's
talking
why I
about
think
scoring.
No, I think scoring.
That's what we're not arguing about.
But we can score more than they can. Which
But
is
not
how you
every
win a
game you're
basketball
going
game.
to be able to
It's
score
just a tough.
130.
It's a tough way to win.
Yeah, it's a tough.
a lot of
I
series.
mean, it's going to be a
It's hard to do that, but
Yeah.
it's
But it's possible.
teams do. I mean, we have LeBron and Luka. We're talking like we might have problems
we
guarding their
saw-
big guys. No one can guard those two.
We could be
no,
like the
no
Golden
team.
State Warriors, where they just score more than everyone.
Yeah, and Looney's your center.
Yeah.
for the.
You know
that's
what I
I'm
mean?
saying.
Like, yeah, it could go
They
that
had a
way.
dynasty with
Which I'm
Kayvon
hoping.
Looney at center.
I'm hoping. I'm praying.
I just think it's great. Like, I don't know. I'm in love with the trade.
Yeah.
And yeah, going forward into the future, oh my God, this offseason looks insane. We have like $30 million of contracts
no one's
annually
arguing the future.
to offload.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to be able to go get our guy. Everyone in the world is going to want to come play for the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James and Luka Doncic. I mean,
yeah.
what big man doesn't want to go get lobs and run the pick and roll with them? So going forward, we're going to be the best team in the league. I think this year it's just a matter of if the Celtics make it to the finals to play us or not. I think that's really the most interesting story.
So you're locked. The Lakers are making the finals.
We're the best team in the West by far. This roster, I think people are severely underestimating. Like Luka's played what, 23 games this season?
So you're just
Crown
everyone
us.
in the world is wrong, and you're what are they doing in the
What?
West? Like
I'm not arguing with everyone in the world. I'm just saying my take. I think
Yeah.
Luka is who I've said the best player in the NBA for the last 3-4 seasons. I know there's Jokic and there's Giannis, and last season Luka won the scoring championship. And I know it looks like Shai's gonna do it this year, and some people may argue, oh, currently Shai's better. Sure, whatever. I'm saying I think Luka Doncic has gotten better every season been in the league, and he's the best point guard or the best guard in the league, in my opinion, best player, and definitely the most clutch. And he's added to the second best player of all time, and LeBron, who's playing like he's 30 in his prime right now. Like I think we haven't seen those two healthy play a full game yet, and it's going to be straight scary hours for the league. And people are going to be like, oh, maybe you don't need a defense when you can score 130 points a game with the two of the best players to ever play. That's my opinion. I think this roster, I don't know another team that's put together a 1-2 like this in recent memory since Steph and KD. And that's just how I feel about this
Yeah.
Lakers team. I mean, and we saw what they did.
I love it.
Yeah.
They
The only
like-
problem
I
is
mean,
LeBron's 41, so it's like.
I mean,
He don't play like
he's
it.
playing
It's-
like a 32.
If he played like a 41-year-old, I'd agree.
Yeah.
But LeBron, what did he do in New York the other night? Like 40
40-point
15
triple-double.
and 15 or something like.
seeing the playoffs one. It's a little longer season than he had in a couple years.
Totally, and I don't discount how much losing AD hurts either.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously traded a lot to get a lot, but I think we won the trade by based on the reaction of the general public as well,
Yeah.
by probably the widest margin of teams won a trade in a long time.
This is a good argument for you, I guess. For just this year you were like, I want to win a championship this year right now. Would you rather have kept the trade, kept AD, or
No.
got Luka?
Luka.
So you think even with, no matter what,
We won the trade now, and then we Giga won the trade in the future.
I agree with you. I just think right now AD would have been a better piece of your game because AR was so good scoring wise that you kind of blended well. But
The tough thing with that is we've seen this team with AD in the playoffs the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And LeBron. Like, this is a very similar team construction.
We haven't got to see an AR.
Sure.
You didn't have a complementary piece as good as AR is right now.
If the movement of AR changes that much so the Lakers don't get 4-1'd by the Nuggets. I watched the Lakers-Nuggets series last year. It was the most painful thing
Yeah, it was
to
not
watch
good.
ever.
Not good.
And that's with Anthony Davis playing all the games against Jokic, who was getting 35
the best player in
and
the
10.
game. Yeah,
So what I'm saying is,
No, I'm switching on the Lakers. Lakers winning all.
that's what I'm
Best in
like,
the West.
Lakers winning.
I don't know. I feel like people are overhyping like how good we were at defense against Jokic last year. We got a gentleman swept by the Nuggets
it's-
last season.
I think it's spoiled Laker fans wanting everything to be perfect and not like realizing that this is fucking insane.
No,
Like, yeah, we got Jackson Hayes, but like, dude, this team,
Luka
like,
Doncic and LeBron James. On the
well, like
same team.
AR is gonna score 20 every game. Like, I can just see it.
And those two are
like,
getting 35.
we're gonna have LeBron on one side of the court, Luka on the other, and like everyone's there, and then like AR's one
Corner.
He just runs here, and then also
like
like
90 points between those
LeBron
three.
can just walk on the court and play defense for like 8 minutes, and like just let Luka do
He
it.
plays very impactful defense too. In the end of the game, LeBron's a very good defender.
That's what I'm saying. Like LeBron can just kind of like not have to carry everything offensively and defensively like we've seen the last 3 years because AD is like in playoff games especially he's like very like hit or miss. He's either
Yeah.
like you know in the first like 5 minutes of a game if AD is going to actually be productive or just like put up 12
Yeah,
points.
and
So like Luka, you just know like he's good for like I mean what he walked out there 20 minutes dropped 14. Like he plays 42 minutes. He's going to go he's going to go for 30 points.
Yeah, and I love leaning on just the past history of these players. When LeBron, makes it decently far in the playoffs, he usually makes it to the finals.
Yeah.
And he's won a lot of championships. Luka, the last 3 seasons, has never missed the Western Conference Finals. He went Western Conference Finals, NBA championship in the last 3 years. You combine those. Lakers, 2025 NBA champions.
Bang.
That's all I got to say.
Lakers Celtics.
If the Celtics can make it there to beat us, that's what I'm saying. I got to see the Celtics get past the Cavs and all them. I got to see that because,
Let's see it.
Dude, hey. Cavs, didn't they win the first game against the Celtics last year?
It doesn't matter. Celtics are going to win. Oh, you meant just
No, I'm just saying last year, didn't they win?
Jason, I don't
So
know.
I'm just saying, I don't know. Maybe they take off. Maybe they just improve. I think Celtics still win, but like if they can make
No,
it a series,
Celtics
and
are-
that way the Celtics don't just like 4-0 everyone and like are fresh, but like they have to
Yeah.
play like just a couple 7-game series. They get a little tired. They have to face Luka, LeBron. All
They're
of a
not
sudden,
ready.
your defense, your feet ain't moving as fast.
I mean, if Jason Fraud Tatum makes it to another finals, then Luka will show him up this time because he got LeBron with them.
Oh, yeah.
fraud. How is he a fraud?
Jason Tatum, do you not see all the pictures he's taking after the game?
I think
After
I
winning
think-
the championship?
I think for
he's
me,
recreated every damn photo in the book.
He's averaging 28, like 8 and 6 this year. He's
Fraud.
fraud on the best
Jalen
team,
Trash Brown.
and it showed because in the Olympics, this guy hardly played
Did he play a minute?
in the last game.
I actually thought he was the ball boy for a second. I had to squint. I was like, oh my
No, I
god,
mean,
is that
it shows
Jason
you,
Tatum at
everyone's
the
like,
end
oh,
of the bench?
best player, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, he can't even be in the top 7, top 8.
I mean, he wasn't top 10 rotation. I didn't know.
He was 9.
Did he see
We'll give him 9.
Did he see the court for 1 minute in the
then-
championship game?
I don't think so.
I don't think he saw the court.
Him and Hallie.
Yeah,
They
I
kept
think
the seats warm.
Did LeBron? I think
Okay,
LeBron. I think LeBron played the whole
I
game.
think Steph played a whole game.
Yeah, that's all I know.
I think Derek White got a minute.
But yeah, let us know what you think about the Luka Lakers trade. Sounds like me and Mike are 100% on board. Mario
Oh,
might
yeah,
have jumped
baby.
on the train
I'm
mid-episode.
switching.
Welcome aboard.
Ryan says
Choo-choo.
0% chance.
just this year. Future
This
is,
year.
like foaming at the mouth.
I'm already.
I mean, this year it's
I said
definitely
it's the
a
greatest
non-zero.
trade pickup anything in the history of my life. Like there's nothing close to it. So
Yeah.
future nut. This
All
year,
right.
eh.
Well, let us know, Lakers fans and non-Lakers fans. How do you feel about this? Mavs fans, I'm sorry. I saw the funeral outside the stadium. I'm
Oh,
sorry
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
You're
But
all
Luka
dead.
Had to
Luka
do it to
Magic.
you.
I mean, last time we
Bye-bye.
had an all-time NBA scoring champion and a point guard named Magic. What happened with the Lakers? Time to run it back.
Three-peat.